calculate the sum of squared deviations, or SS for short, for the following sample. So our sample is given up of the numbers here. We've got 2, 3, 5, and 10. And the answer could be either 38 divided by 3, which gives us 12.67, or 38, or 76, or 100. All right, now there are two formulas for the sum of squares. The first one is the definitional. That is the sum of my squared deviations. And this is a mean, so I write my sample mean as a big M. I also have the formula, which I could use, and this is my preferred, this is the choice that I prefer, but I'll do both for this example. It's the sum of x squared, and then it's the sum of x in brackets squared over n. So this one is the computational, and this one is the definitional. Now, both of them will give you the same results. A lot of the time students will ask me, when do I know which one to use? There's really no right answer for that. You use whichever you prefer. The computational is a little bit faster. The definitional allows you to perform a check part of the way through your work to make sure you're on the right track. So whatever you prefer, I'll do both. So I'm going to start off with the definitional. And you always have to keep in track, or you always have to keep in mind the order of operations. So brackets first, and then exponents, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. This is the order of operations, and you have to start at the top and work your way down in order to get the right answer from one of these formulas. So the brackets here tell me that I have to do x minus the mean. That's called a deviation. It's how far is a score from the mean. You find the difference between the score and the mean. So that's what's in the brackets. But in order to even get started doing that, I need to know what my mean is. And so I have to do the sum of x over n. So I'm going to add up my values. So 2 plus 3 is 5, plus another 5 is 10, plus another 10 is 20. So I've got 20 divided by 4 different values. My mean is 5. So I'm going to take each one of these scores and subtract 5. 2 subtract 5 is minus 3. 3 subtract 5 is minus 2. 5 subtract 5 is 0. And 10 subtract 5 is 5. Okay, so am I supposed to do anything with these? Well, out of the formula here, what I've done so far is I've looked at the deviations. Now I need to move on to, I've looked at what's in the brackets, which is the deviation. Now I have to move on to my exponent, because that's what comes next. So I'm going to square each of the deviations that I've already found. So negative 3 squared is 9, negative 2 squared is 4, 0 squared is 0, and 5 squared is 25. All right, so now I've taken care of the exponents. There is no division. Multiplication, there's no multiplication, but there is addition. The summation sign means I have to add up all of my results. So I'm going to add up everything this way. Okay, so let's do that. 9 and 4 makes what? That's 13 plus 25, that makes 38. So the sum of my squared deviations is 38. That is the sum of squares. The sum of squares is the sum of the square deviations. It's 38. So the answer is going to be B, 38. But just to be sure, and you don't have to do this on an exam, you don't have to do it both ways, just to show you the other method, I'm going to use the computational formula now. So to do that, I need to make a little bit of space. I'll do that down here, so I don't have to erase the other one. Okay, so let's do x is 2, 3, 5, and 10. We already know that the sum of x is equals to 20. So that's going to go in here. The sum of x is 20. I know that n is simply just 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 scores. What I don't know is the sum of x squared. And there I have to, first of all, do any brackets, but there are no brackets. I do have an exponent. I'm going to take each x and raise it to the power of 2. So 2 squared is 4. 3 squared is 9, 5 squared is 25, and 10 squared is 100. Now that I've dealt with my exponents, and I don't have division or multiplication, I'm going to add up, because there's a summation sign, that means addition, I'm going to add up my results. And that will give me my sum of x squared. So 4 plus 9 is 13, plus 25 makes 38, plus 100 gives me 138. So the sum of squares is the sum of x squared minus the sum of x in brackets squared over n. I know now that the sum of x squared is 138. The sum of x in brackets is going to be 20. I'll have to square that and divide by 4. 20 squared is 400. 400 divided by 4 is 100. So this is going to give me 138 minus 100. That gives me 38, which is the exact same result I got using the other formula. So my answer is B, 38.